there was a period of time in 2001 when the Republicans controlled the Senate. And then Jim Jeffords abandoned the Republican Party, and the control of the Senate flipped to the Democrats, and Trent Lott basically ran the Senate after that. But it started out with the Republicans in charge of the Senate. And the Republicans wanted to pass multiple pieces of legislation using reconciliation. Reconciliation is that little rule that says if it has to do with taxes and spending and it affects the budget, then you can't filibuster it. And in fact, as David Rosenbaum on May 7th, 2001, wrote in the New York Times, Republican leaders decided last week to dismiss the Senate's parliamentarian, Robert B. Dove, because of their frustration over his recent rulings on tax and budget matters, a top leadership staff assistant said today. One of Mr. Dove's recent rulings was that only one tax bill could be, in other words, only one piece of legislation through reconciliation, could be considered this year under special budget rules that prevent filibusters. That was 2001. The Republicans were in charge. They wanted to pass multiple pieces of legislation using reconciliation. The Senate parliamentarian said, you can't do that, and they fired him. So what's going on now? Well, it turns out that the Senate parliamentarian, the current one, Elizabeth McDonough, who is ostensibly nonpartisan. She's supposed to be a person who is not a creature of politics. She's just a Senate rules wonk. She had told Schumer a few months ago, you know, if you want to amend or add to, I don't recall, I'm not sure I ever even knew the exact language that she used when she talked to Schumer, but essentially amend or add to a previous reconciliation bill with a later reconciliation bill, you could do that. In other words, you pass the American Rescue Act, the American Rescue Plan. The American Rescue Plan made it, basically put America back to work. I mean, we're seeing this all over the place. You passed the American Rescue Plan by reconciliation. Not a single Republican voted for it. None. There's a bunch of them out there bragging about it, but none of them voted for it. And what McDonough told Schumer back a few months ago was, and if you want to add to that, you can do that. Well, yesterday, she said, no, I've changed my mind. You can't do that if you're doing it to get around a filibuster. Now, I can tell you with absolute certainty that there is nothing in the Senate rules that says that you can't pass something via reconciliation just to get around a filibuster. In fact, the whole point of reconciliation is to get around a filibuster. So she's just pulling this out of, her left ear. So what are the Democrats going to do? What's Schumer going to do? Is he going to have the courage that Trent Lott had in 2001, if you want to use that word to describe Trent Lott? Is he going to stand up to her and say, that's your opinion, you're fired. We're going to hire a new parliamentarian who will work with us, rather than you, who was the parliamentarian during the Trump administration. Now, she was also the parliamentarian during the tail end of maybe the entire Obama administration. I'm not sure exactly when she came in, but it was about a decade ago. But I guarantee you, if Mitch McConnell was the Senate Majority Leader right now, and Elizabeth McDonough was the Senate parliamentarian, was blocking him, he would fire her. He's no dummy. I mean, like I said, there's a precedent for it. 2001, this is exactly what Trent Lott did. And frankly, I think it's what needs to be done again. I am very concerned that this is essentially a democracy-destroying move. And here's why. If Joe Biden and the Democrats can pass a couple of good-sized pieces of legislation that put America back on track and prove to the American people that government can work for them. In other words, blow up Ronald Reagan's lie that government is not the solution to your problems, government is the cause of your problems. That has, for 40 years, been basically, what everybody in the Republican Party believes, and a lot of Americans believe. If Biden can prove that's wrong, then there's a very good chance that Democrats will prevail in the 2022 and 2024 elections, and we can start reversing this fascist move, this authoritarian move, this oligarchic move that has been being pushed by Republicans since 1980, but really came to full flower with the Trump administration. And if Biden fails to do that, if the Senate can't pass these pieces of legislation, people are just going to throw their hands up and say, okay, screw it. Let's try the Republicans again. Maybe they can do something.